Hello, Louisiana Beer Reviews. We're doing another
Sweetwater.
Yeah.
This one is a hazy IPA called Tropical High. 6.2% alcohol. This is also coming out of Atlanta, Georgia, and or Fort Collins. So this one's definitely coming from Atlanta. So yeah, it's got a very similar can decoration as the other one. Design.
This is very orange.
It's very, very orange.
Now, is this high like high alcohol or high like Cheech and Chong?
Probably high like Cheech and Chong because it's 6.2% alcohol.
Well, that's very pale.
Sure is. And just like the other one,
Bubbly.
Bubbly. Bubbly, 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 bubbly. Now it is hazy, you can see that as it's being poured from the can into the vessel. Yeah, these beers are quite frothy. Quite frothy. I would say that you'd have to have patience.
And I'm very patient, like you are.
Oh, well, we all have our moments of impatience.
I
don't know what that was all about.
It's like pineapple juice in the color, you know, like the yellow.
Yeah, it does kind of like.
It's hazy as heck.
Man, it is opaque. Look at that. It's kind of cool looking though, because in the center it gets darker, and on the outside it's kind of like light. It's kind of like Mississippi dirty water. If you haven't been to New Orleans and you've gone out to the Mississippi, the banks, and look at the water, you can see it's clear with this murkiness underneath it. And the reason why is that the Mississippi originally starts off as a clean, clear river.
I've been there.
Until it runs into the Missouri and the Ohio.
I've been to the start of the Mississippi, and it's clear as a bell, and you can see right to the bottom. And
have you been to where the rivers meet?
Yeah, and you can see the two different colors.
Man, they got some old bridges there.
Yeah.
And you could see it was like a really popular area.
Yeah, and then when you went there for a work assignment, then you couldn't take the bridge because they had to shut it down because it was about to fall over.
Yeah, and I had to drive like 20 miles out of the way to get around.
Because the bridge was like about to fall over. It was so rotted. All right.
So again, the appearance of this is actually, I don't know if y'all can see that. Probably not. But I think it's the way the light is
looks
coming
like a sponge for a sink.
Yeah, kinda. So, yeah.
It's spongy, yeah.
Yeah. But it's sticking around, you know, kind of like if you take a Miller High Life and you pour it like that out of a can,
they do that.
It sticks around.
It
even after it dissipates, it's always got a little, which I kind of appreciate in a beer. I think a beer should always have a head on it.
People say that's because it got a lot of protein in it. All right. Can I see the can? Because this got me a little confused. Okay. We don't get this in Louisiana, so Tropical High. 6.2.
There's really no description on these. I mean,
no, and I looked on their website, and there wasn't much on the website. It was just like they threw these in the pack, and they stuck them on the shelf and said, you deal with it. Because I was trying to find out, like, detailed information. Sorry, there wasn't.
Well, at least they give us a good date, and they tell us, you know,
it's a good date.
Canned fermented and all that, which is good. So
got
usually when that happens, I notice also that you may wind up with a higher alcohol content than what's listed on the vessel.
You might. It's got live yeast in the can.
Yeah, right. So maybe eating up some more sugars. We don't know.
And you might remember back around 11 years ago when Sweetwater first came to Louisiana, it was like a big deal, and then it kind of faded pretty fast. All right. Taste. Fruity. And you remember all the craft beer companies from out of state showed up at the same time. Sweetwater, Bell's, Great Lakes.
That has to do with distribution.
Yingling, they all showed up around 2012, 2013, 2014. Southern Tier, and then half of them disappeared overnight.
This one's good.
Little bitterness, maybe from the...
Got like a little like extra kind of juice going on, like orange juice.
Yeah, it's like a fruit rind bitterness, like orange peel. I think they're using natural orange peel in this.
Yeah.
like
Yep.
you get with the Blue Moon.
That might be the pith.
Medium body, sweetness is low, so it's crisp, it's dry, it's only 2 out of 5 sugar cubes. It's probably...
Hop cones are low too.
Yeah, it's like 2, maybe 2.5 out of 5 hop cones. This is very...
This is pale ale-ish. It's another hyped up flavored pale ale.
I am so sick of
a pale
buying India pale ales that are really
Pale ales.
Pale ales.
This is a fruit flavored pale ale. So it's another one that's misguided, misadvertised. It's not that it doesn't. It's refreshing and it tastes good. You know, it's almost like if you get an orange Julius somewhere and you pour it over ice, and then the ice kind of melts down and you got a little ice water left over mixed into it, and they throw some alcohol, I don't know, like some vodka or something in it. That's what this tastes like.
Just add egg white.
Mm-hmm.
They said that's what orange Julius is that makes it like real frothy, is that they add egg whites to it.
Yeah, isn't a gin drink that calls for that too?
I don't know. I was reading an article about Orange Julius. The guy's name was Julius, and he bought the recipe from some other guy that was saying, I can't make any money off this. Nobody wants this junk. So he was like, oh, I'll give you. He gave me like a low amount, and so he was like thinking about it and saying it doesn't have enough like excitement to it. So then he got this idea to add egg whites and made it froth up. You know how those Orange Juliuses are like. So then,
Are they still in business?
then it became like a big deal.
Do you know? Because I know around here they kind of disappeared like in the 80s, 90s.
They are still in business, but what happened was the original company sold their business to Dairy Queen.
And Dairy Queen is not really.
So Dairy Queen sells Orange Julius in Metairie, Louisiana on Airline Drive, and but I don't think the Orange Julius stand at Lakeside is still there. But when I was
it hasn't been there in a long,
when I was a little
long
kid,
time.
when I was
it's right where the information booth is.
When I was a little kid, my mama would buy me an Orange Julius in that paper cup, you know, that wax paper cup.
They hit the perfect location. The TG&Y was right here, and you'd walk in, because that used to be like an uncovered area, and you'd walk in, you'd open it up, they had the center, and there was doors to get in, but the roof was open. It was all open.
I don't remember that. My father says he remembers that. When
it was all open. We used to go out there when we were kids. We'd ride our bicycles out there. We'd be like 8, 9 years old. We'd ride our bicycles out there, and we'd go in there, and we'd mess around in the mall. And I remember seeing the Orange Julius, and you'd look up, and it was open. And then after a while, they started putting like
panels.
like glass panels in or something.
Remember they had those big plants growing up?
Yep.
They would just keep growing up high.
Yep.
But the Orange Julius was in a wax paper.
But they were
cup.
right. They were kind of like the center of the mall. You go walk in it, and they were like right at the center, because that's where the TG&Y was. It was right at the center.
It was a real sweet orange flavored drink.
They were
There
good.
was something unusual about it, and I read that was the.
So, anyways, we're going off course here with Orange Julius, but this beer kind of does remind of an Orange Julius, is this an IPA? No, strike 2 there, Sweetwater. It's got low bitterness in it, 6.2% alcohol. Again, you guys released a alcohol pumped up pale ale. It's a delicious product, but you're not going to get a favorable score because you misclassified it again. Hey, it's okay if y'all just make a bunch of pale ales and put them out there and just call them, hey, variety pack pale ale, fruity pale ales. Just, you know, I would be more inclined to trying something pale, because you know what a pale ale is going to taste like. It's not going to taste like a bitter punch, like most IPAs are supposed to taste. And I don't know. Maybe they're gearing this to another market. I have no idea. I'd say the IBUs in this are like right at like 32.
Oh man. I agree with that. These are
So
all.
I'm gonna go ahead and score this and the only reason why it's getting a little extra punch because I like the flavor of it. I'm gonna give it a 77, which is a C+. You guys really should do better. Probably will never see this again. just for the sheer fact that this is not an IPA. This is a pale ale, guys. A pale ale. Again, nothing wrong with a pale ale. What's wrong is releasing something and calling something it's not.
Yeah, I'll give it a good deal higher score. I'm going to go at 84. It's a good product, but
Yeah.
I agree that these things. It's every time we do a video now, it's the same story. It's an IPA that's really a PA.
Right.
Don't call an IPA.
It's not a bad product. It's just, it's first off, you put it out there that it's this classification. Well, there's standards for a classification.
Don't even bring up the problem with stouts that are really porters.
Yeah.
And you know, some of these stouts, you're like, it's not really a stout. It's kind of like a porter, but
Yeah. Okay.
All right, so bon temps relay, and we're going to end this review by saying y'all go to Georgia and buy a Sweetwater variety pack.
Check it out, guys. You might like it. Your taste may be different. Drink better beers.